Alright students, so today we're going to look at section 5-8, convert customary units of measure. And the first thing we need to do is just take some informational notes on what this might include. Alright. One key thing we need to know when we're converting measure is if you go from smaller units to larger, then you divide. Just important to keep that in mind, okay? And if you go from larger to smaller, then you do the other, you multiply. So that's something we just need to keep in mind moving forward. Now, let's make 3 boxes down here, if you would please. Okay. So we'll make each one of these about 3 lines to 4 lines long. Alright, here's a first. Okay, just box it on over here. And we'll do 2 more just like this. I'm going to draw a little box this way and write length. Okay. And then down here I'm going to do another one. Box this in. We're going to call this one capacity. As you can see, my ink's getting a little dry. And on this one, like I said, we're going to label this capacity. C-A-P-A-C-I-T-Y. Okay. And one more. Set of 3 here. And we're going to name this one weight. Alrighty, right weight here. Okay, let's begin. In the box 1 up here, we're going to label the first line 1 foot, and the abbreviation for foot is FT, okay, is equal to 12 inches. On the next line, we're going to label 1 yard, and abbreviation for yard is YD, and that equals 3 feet. I'll abbreviate feet here. I'm going to put a comma, or 36 inches, and I'm just going to put an IN for inches abbreviation. Now let's go on to the next one, which is 1 mile. And miles abbreviated just MI. Don't do M because that means something else. And that equals, get this, 1,760 yards, comma, or, and this is the one you're going to have to learn because it's used a lot, 5,280 feet. Okay? Now on the next set, I know I made 3 lines, but I am going to squeeze some stuff in together. So I'm going to do like a divider right here, okay? And the reason I'm going to do that divider, you'll see shortly. So 1 cup, and you'll use measuring cups a lot if you're cooking. C for cup is equal to 8, this is important, you got to say fluid ounces. Fluid ounces is abbreviated with an OZ. Keep that in mind. And then the next line we're going to put 1 pint. 1 pint. And that's, they just use P for this one. That equals 2 cups. And that's also equal to, this is important, 16 fluid ounces. And fluid can be abbreviated with the FL and then the OZ for ounces. Okay? And then 1 quart and that's QT parentheses, that is equal to 2 pints. I'll rewrite the whole thing out there. Or it's also equal to 4 cups. Okay? Now the reason I did this divider here, so I'm going to go to the next line. I'm going to put 1 gallon. A lot of times you hear gallon referred to gallons of gas, gallon of milk, things like that. So I'm going to put GAL for gallon in parentheses. So that is equal to 4, we'll do the QT, 4 quarts. That is also equal to 8 pints. And that's also equal to 16 cups. Now let's go down to the next one, weight. All right? And weight, that's what we are typically familiar with using. Okay? And the first one for weight would be 1 pound. And 1 pound is often used, the pound symbol is LB in parentheses. And that's equal to 16, and we'll just do the OZ here, ounces. Now that's not the same as the fluid ounces, okay? Let's go on down to 1 ton. And ton is often used with a capital T. Well, 1 ton is the same as 2,000 pounds. Okay? Now let's see if we can use some of this stuff to make some connections today. I'm going to flip to the next page. And on this next page, we're going to start with some, let's just go some practice, okay? Practice conversions. So if we're going to practice some conversions, let's just look at length today. Converting length. Now there's a special way to do this that just makes things more simple. And if you would follow suit here, let's look at sample A. And for sample A, we're going to convert 4.5 or 4.5 feet to inches. All right. Now, one way you can do it is you can rewrite the 4.5 feet, 4.5 feet, okay, like a whole number, times, and then we're going to say, since there are 12 inches in every 1 foot, I'm going to put 12 inches here over 1 foot here. Now, this is very important to learn this. This is called dimensional analysis, and I'm going to write that up here because you're going to hear that from time to time moving forward, and it gets more and more advanced as we go and as you get higher up in grades. So for dimensional analysis, let's take a look here. This is the same as over 1 because it's a whole number. If we were to cross simplify, the words can be canceled out just like numbers can. So feet and feet can actually cancel out, and I'm left with the word inches. Okay? And then we multiply across 4.5 times 12, which is 54 inches. Okay? That's how you get it. Now let's move on to sample B. On sample B, let's convert 15 gallons to quarts. Okay? Now, if we were to convert 15 gallons to quarts, I'm going to write the whole number of 15 gallons right here. I'll abbreviate the word. Times, it takes 4 quarts, so I'm going to put 4 quarts on top, 4 quarts to make 1 gallon. And once again, this is the same as the whole number over 1. I can cross simplify by canceling out the words that are the same and multiply across, which gives me 15 times 4, which is 60, and then the word quarts is left, so I got 60 quarts. Okay? Now let's look at another sample. Okay? C. Convert 10 ounces to pounds. So we're going to convert 10 ounces to, and I'll even do the abbreviation for pounds here just so you can get familiar with it. Okay? Well, in this case, let's take a look. What would we do? There are 10 ounces, we'll put a whole number over it. Now this is important to pay attention to, right? Times, there is, this time it goes on top, 1 pound is the same as 16 ounces. Okay? So, if I were to find the solution here, look, these words cancel out. And now if we multiply across, 10 times 1 is 10. 1 times 16 is 16. I'm just going to divide, and I get 0.625, and look what was left, pounds. You can even put an S with that for plural. Now in your head you could have just said 10 divide 16 and get the same answer. But you need to be familiar with what dimensional analysis looks like. And you noticed I had to have the diagonals have the same measure. Okay? Let's go on to what I'm going to give as the very last one today. So let's take a look at this. We're going to call this one D. Put D right here. And we are going to convert 3,000 feet to miles. Let's take a look again. If we were to do dimensional analysis, all right, if I did 3,000 feet over 1, right, times, well, there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So if I wrote 1 mile on top over 5,280 feet, I will be able to do my conversion. Once again, look, feet are diagonal to each other, so they cancel each other out, because feet divide feet is 1. And then if we multiply across and then divide, you end up with 3,000 over 5,280. All right, and if I were to divide this, I would get 0.57 miles. Now, if you're not required to show the work, you really could have just done the division, 3,000 divide 5,280, and you get the same thing, 0.57, and I'll abbreviate it this time, okay?